Good morning, everybody. My name is Jody. My husband David John and I have a small farm in the panhandle of North Idaho. These are stories and adventures. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Well, this morning I've been busy. I got sorry if the wind is a little loud. It's just the nature of things right now. It's really windy here all the time. But I did get the chicken house itself completely cleaned down, and underneath their covered area, show you the gold I got from that and what that looks like. And then I had a boss at one time. I was completely overwhelmed, and he went, "Jody, how do you eat an elephant?" I'm like, "You don't eat an elephant." He goes, "Yes, one bite at a time." I'm kind of feeling that right now because there's stuff that I should have done last fall that I didn't get done, but that I need to get done, and get those beds done so I can get the stuff in. But enough rambling. I'm gonna go through and get my raspberry patch cleaned up and get that ready to go. So let me show you the shavings and straw that I got collected that will either go on the raised beds or will be compost starter for our new compost pile, because yes, our compost piles are moving again. So let's start with there. We'll go in and see the coop and then on to the raspberries. So that pile right there, the bottom ones, and there's two of them there, and the one in the far back has got the shavings that had the most amount of manure, so that's going to be the hottest one. So that will probably just wind up going straight on the new compost bin. But the big black totes represent 9 wheelbarrows of shavings. The 4 totes on top represent 4 wheelbarrows. And then I have that one for going on the raspberry bed after I get it pruned back and weeded. But totally rearranged this. Got this area, most of the pine and straw just raked out. And I did, in the brooder, put up a wall of plastic just because the dust from the adult chickens was just kind of gross. And that really did help. And I am going to be using a heat light also with the Brinzy brooder, just because I've never used one and I don't want to accidentally lose babies of whatever form are going to first be in here. So we'll just keep an eye on it. Where the heat light is on the concrete itself, the concrete is nice and warm, so they'll be able to snuggle underneath here, and the radiant heat from the concrete and the light itself will keep them warm. Whoa. The Brinzy, I do have some shavings underneath it so they can go up and warm up on the heat plate like a mama hen. Got to get their water dish washed, but as you see, completely plasticed in. But in here, got it down, got a bale of shavings in here, and as you see in that corner, someone's already been scratching, but need to get that back wall painted. And I do have 2 of my Barred Rock. This one's a Barred Rock Silky Mix, and I'm not sure what she's a mix of besides barred rock. That are broody and under eggs. And I know I'm going breed specific, but this is for this year for being able to sell. If someone wants baby chicks, we'll have some. If not, they'll be processed next fall. So let's go out and get these raspberries cleaned up. So the first step is going to be removing this green fence. I am going to take it and put it on the other side to keep the chickens and the geese, if they go in there, from being able to reach through and eat all the greens off the raspberries and eat the raspberries themselves. Later this spring, once the grass is a little more developed, we'll be putting a new fence on this side to keep the ducks and the geese and the fowl from eating the raspberries. But for now, let's get this old fence removed so we can get this bed cleaned up. So I normally would have gone through last winter, and as you can see, this cane is an old one, completely dead. Would have pruned this all out. Yes, but time got away from me. I've got this cane here that's got growth on it, so just have to go through and do a little bit of weeding, like a couple spots, like right there, and get the old cut out and the new tied back up. And then get the shavings down. I'm gonna connect a hose and drag a hose over here just to wash this dusty stuff in. But that'll get that cleaned up for now, and then we can move on to potatoes. So I'm hoping, yes, Professor, that I only have to take the 2 sets of strings off the front. That'll be able to pull the new shoots through the backside one, so I don't have to restring the whole thing. But now that I've got it weeded, I've got to go through and prune out all the old and then work on getting the new canes tied up. Well, that may look a little extreme. Last spring I just dug these guys up from their old bed and put them over here. Towards the fall they kind of got neglected by water and everything. So they did have a bunch more dead than normal. And you usually want to prune too, because they produce their fruit on the 2nd year vines. So won't have as many raspberries this year, but because of our plans, we'll be able to have water over here a little more in our forethoughts to take a little better care of them. But gonna go through, kind of get them tied up a little more and get the shavings put on them and get them watered in. So hopefully we'll get a few, and then next year they'll be even better. So the end of this one long raised bed I have the elephant garlic, and my one herb and the blueberry aren't doing too good. Gonna plant the potatoes that we saved from last year and that have really started sprouting. Gonna go through, pull the pine shavings off, and since I do have the straw, I'm gonna put straw over them to use as the mulch layer. So I'm gonna get on with getting this bed cleaned out and ready for the potatoes to go in. So, as you see, the potatoes that we saved from last year in the bathroom in the shop have kind of gone a little ready to be planted. Gonna go through, see what I've got. And that one is no good. And get these guys planted as best that I can. But crazy mass of potatoes. So I'll just take these guys, dig a little hole, lay them down in it, and then cover them, or this part down into the dirt, cover them over, and then we'll get a layer of straw mulch on them. But it's like I know I've got reds and whites in here, just have to make sure I get a mix of both. So I'm gonna kind of sort through these guys. And what's making this really easy is last fall I did go through and I amended this bed so it would be ready for the spring, and I amended the original potato bed. So gonna go over there, show you what I got for that one for potatoes. Gonna have to steal a soaker hose from the front garden because not sure where that one went, so got this watered in. So let's move on to potato bed number 2. I want to take you guys in and show you something really cool. I've gotten the pine shavings pulled off the potato bed and now removing the newspaper that I put down. Since it's not very sunny, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but you see lots of wiggler worms. So my grandson Declan's worms. Soon to be shared with his cousin Cairo. They still live on. So I'm gonna go back to getting the newspaper off this and getting the potatoes. I'll show you what kinds I've got and getting the soaker hose in, and we'll have the start of the potatoes going. So as you can see behind me, I have the soaker hose in. I have it kind of in a serpentine. Here, once the potatoes and everything get growing, I'll be able to pull the wooden stakes out. But for right now, or I could just go find 4 more metal U stakes to staple it down. But that's what I used in the rest of the bed, just to hold the soaker hose. But I've got, where's my receipts? I got Norland dark red seed potatoes, and I tried to go for smaller ones. So got that bag there for 1/3 of the bed. And then I also got Yukon white, which I'm thinking are these ones. Of course, I didn't mark the bag. So got a bag of those to go in. And I did try to pick smaller potatoes so that way I didn't have to cut them up and dry them off, dry the cut up so they wouldn't mold or rot. But then the other one is Yukon Gem. So get these guys planted and some shavings on them and watered in. So I've never done the straw mulch way of potato gardening. I've always just dug the hole, put them in, and then dug them up. But the premise behind this is as the potatoes grow up, you add more straw mulch on top, and it keeps the potatoes up closer to the surface, easier to harvest. Figured we'll give it a shot this year. Looks pretty good. And like I said, my grandson's worms are doing great. So happy to see that. Well, that's where I'm going to end today's video. I hope you have a good day and a good week. And I do have a week of vacation coming up. So I'm going to kind of do my chores on a lottery. So write down everything I want to do, put them in a jar, and pull out a couple to do a day. So it'll be interesting to see what we wind up doing in the next several videos. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye for now.